And you can see how wet the conditions are as Yuki Tsunoda crosses the line and he remains in the slowest time. So he's going to have to try and see if he can find some pace again. Oh, Ollie Behrman locking up his brakes, going towards the wall, can't stop, and he's in the wall. He's not damaged his suspension so he can keep on going, but that has definitely ruined his lap for sure here in Vegas tonight. It is completely aquaplaning around this Vegas strip, but you can see Alex Albon is trying his best as he slides his Williams going into turn 16. Oh no, he's in the wall! Alex Albon is in the barriers. He's bringing his Williams back to the pits, but that is the end of his qualifying session and out in Q1 once again for Alex Albon on a car that should once again be up there in the top of the midfield, but once again Alex Albon found himself out. Checkered flag is out. Fernando Alonso goes fastest so far, on board with Max Verstappen, who's trying to find pace to get into the top 15. George Russell's gone fastest overall by 0.6 of a second. Max Verstappen bringing his Red Bull through the twisty chicane and trying to see if he's got enough pace to get that Red Bull comfortably into the top 15. He is comfortable in the top 15. Someone else behind him improves. Verstappen improves to go second fastest. Albon, Antonelli, Bortoretto, Tsunoda, Hamilton. We didn't mention it, but Hamilton is out in Q1 and slowest driver on the track in a car that should have the pace this weekend. You can see Oscar Piastri coming up to the line now. Where does he go? Only ninth fastest for Oscar Piastri. So he is at risk of not making it into the top 10 here. Lando Norris rounding the final corner and he's gone fastest overall so far by a tenth and a half from Carlos Sainz. Here's Franco Colapinto trying to get himself into Q3. Wow, what a save from Franco Colapinto. He almost crashed at exactly the same corner he crashed at last year. Ollie Behrman, can he get his hat into Q3? He almost had a crash at the end of Q1. He'll be hoping that he's got enough pace to get into Q3, and he hasn't. He's out along with his teammate Esteban Ocon. Both passes out in Q2. We're on board now with Nico Hulkenberg in the checkered flag delivering Sauber for this weekend, as Sauber come into their final 3 Grand Prix before they become Audi next year. With the new 2026 regulations, here comes Nico Hulkenberg up to the line, and he remains in 10th place, but he's in the top 10 at the minute. But Oscar Piastri and George Russell, Carlos Sainz and others are improving behind. Piastri remains ninth, he's in trouble as George Russell goes fastest by 4.5 of a second. Russell, who won here last year, is fastest right now. Carlos Sainz goes second fastest. Isaac Hadjar crosses the line and he's now second fastest in the Racing Bulls. Great lap time from the French rookie. Now it's down to Pierre Gasly. Can he get that Alpine into the top 10 once more? He was third on the grid here last year, was Pierre Gasly, but has he got enough pace to get that car into the top 10? One more corner to go for Pierre Gasly. Can he get his Alpine into Q3? Yes, he can. 7th fastest for Pierre Gasly. He's done it again, and he's got his car into the top 10. We have got Hulkenberg, Stroll, Colapinto, and the 2 Hasses knocked out in Q2. Lando Norris is absolutely flying. He loves wet conditions, doesn't he, Lando Norris? Sometimes it doesn't pay off for him, but this time it's paying off, and he goes onto provisional pole by 3/4 of a second from his teammate Oscar Piastri. Here's Charles Leclerc. Where does he go? Only P6 in a Ferrari. On board now with Oscar Piastri, who needs a good result this weekend to keep himself in the fight for this championship. He's coming up to the line now. Is Oscar Piastri. He was second and remains second. 6/10 still off the pace of his teammate. George Russell, is he going to have enough pace to still contend for pole here? Because if he doesn't contend for pole, who knows who'll take pole? And Russell goes only P7. On board with Isaac Hadjar in the Racing Bulls, you can see one of the McLarens ahead. I'm pretty sure that's Lando Norris about to start yet another lap. Hadjar rounding the final few corners he comes now. on board with the Frenchman coming down towards the line. He should make it to the line for one more lap. And Verstappen is not going to make it to the line. So this is the lap that won't count for Verstappen as Hadjar goes sixth fastest. Let's see where his teammate Liam Lawson will go. Lawson goes third fastest. The Racing Bulls are icy tonight. What about Carlos Sainz? Sainz crossing the line. Sainz goes on to pole position in the Williams. Great lap side from the Spaniard. Max Verstappen, though, he takes it away by 0.04 of a second. Max Verstappen, at the moment, is on provisional pole. But what about the likes of Russell and especially Lando Norris, who's gone purple in the first sector? Norris is looking quick. Russell's looking quick. This is going to have to be absolutely perfect for these two drivers if they want to have a shot of pole position. Lando Norris is absolutely flying. He's almost a second up on Max Verstappen on this very lap. So this is going to have to count for the likes of Russell and Norris. Charles Leclerc is not going to improve as Max Verstappen is currently on pole at the minute, but Lando Norris should have the pace to take it away. He's absolutely flying at the ground, wrestling it from turn 16, almost puts it in the wall. It's Lando Norris, but he should be okay to put it on pole. Here he comes then. He's had 2 poles in a row in the last 2 races. Can he make it 3? Yes, he can. Lando Norris has taken pole for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and the championship leader has on it again in qualifying. And with 3 races remaining, this man is looking comfortable at the top of this World Championship. Norris will lead the field to green for the Grand Prix on Saturday. Let's see what happened to Charles Leclerc. Going off at turn 14, pirouetting his Ferrari, and it's only going to be 9th on the grid for Charles Leclerc. Well, very disappointing qualifying for Ferrari in their battle with Mercedes and Red Bull for second in the Constructors' Championship. And this is Oscar Piastri doing exactly the same thing that Leclerc did while battling with one of the Racing Bulls there. Lando Norris makes it 3 poles in a row, a hatchet of poles for the championship leader. And if that's the pace that he's got to win this World Championship, he is looking comfortable and he will lead the field to green for the Grand Prix tomorrow night.